Alrighty. Welcome to our Joy Content Hub. So I am Jennifer. Well, my name is Jennifer Charland. I'm the owner here at Joy Wellness. And excuse the dings because I have everything on silence, but for some reason there's still dinging happening. Anyway, so you're joining me for class via our content hub and our YouTube channel, Joy for Yoga. And feel free to grab some blocks. It's good to have blocks. And I'm sitting on a bolster. Obviously, I have my yoga mat. And it will be good if you put on some music. You can put on whatever music you so desire, because I know when I try to play music through Zoom, it doesn't work so well. So I like to begin my classes by picking a card. This is from a deck called a Yogic Path. So I invite you to close your eyes and we'll take some time to center, come into the space, and just allow ourselves, our body to relax, the mind to eventually relax. It's not a requirement because sometimes I know that's hard for the mind to relax, the thoughts to calm down, but we just relax the body. So we're sitting. I think it's wonderful to sit on a prop, a bolster, a block, a pillow, whatever you have. So that way you can feel long in your spine and open in your heart. Your hips can open, especially if you have tighter hips and it's hard for your knees to drop. If you kind of sit on the edge of your prop, then your knees can drop and you're able to sit up more upright. I'm noticing these lights look weird in the background, so I'm going to shut them off and see how that goes. I think that I'll still be bright enough without the funkiness of the lights kind of looking like they're flickering. And who knows? So we're relaxing the body, and we do that by a process of relaxing the jaw, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the belly, relaxing the hips. And what does that mean to relax? It just means bring awareness to each place. Bring awareness to each place, each part of the body that I'm saying. And usually when you bring awareness there, your body will naturally relax. You might notice if there's tension there or not. Like with your jaw, you might notice your teeth are clenched, and so you unclench your teeth and you relax your jaw. Shoulders, you might notice they're feeling a little bit tense, so then you're able to drop them down. Belly, sometimes we keep our belly engaged, but when we bring awareness there, we think, oh, I can relax my belly. You know, you're practicing at home. Let it give your belly some freedom to relax and enjoy the space that it takes up. And your hips, it's a little more subtle when you bring awareness to the hips and the knees. Legs are crossed, but if you come into this cross-legged position and you just think, all right, this is really uncomfortable, maybe you bring your legs out in front and you take a moment, you shake out your legs and you roll your ankles and you move your toes around and your wrists, and you know, just give yourself that freedom. This is where it's your practice. This is your time to tune into the body. And even though I'm guiding the practice, it's up to you to really listen to see what you need either during or in between, you know, to make it really nourishing for you. So you might pause and make those little movements. You might tune in enough and say, oh, I would like to come to the edge of my bolster a little bit more. I want to see if I can sit up a little bit taller. Maybe you kind of want to stretch here and open your heart. So there's all different ways to tune in. And it usually doesn't look like just listening to every single thing that I say and doing that. Usually there's variations in there. And that's actually what I call modifications, formally modifications in yoga are variations, because a modification, our mind for some reason processes that as it being easier. And so that's not true. We create a variation so that way our body is able to come into better alignment. And we're able to actually be in the posture, find the seat of the posture much better. So variation versus modification. And we're breathing in and out through the nose, feeling expansion on the inhale. The belly expands and it contracts on the exhale. Nice inhale and exhale, slow. As you scan the body from head to toe. This process of arriving in the present moment, allowing yourself to be exactly as you are, as you're showing up, connecting with the breath. Theta is the card. And I will read about Sita. So Sita is a goddess, you know. And so take what resonates, leave, or consider what doesn't maybe resonate right now. Consider. And then do what you want with the rest. Goddess of devotion and loyalty. You have devoted your entire self to a person or project, and your loyalty cannot be questioned. Even in the face of harsh treatment, you have endured in the name of love. Sita remained loyal to her husband Ram, despite being told he was dead and when another king wanted to marry her. When her husband returned, he did not believe her fidelity. She said, "If I am telling the truth, I will jump into this fire and will not be burned." She stepped into the fire untouched, proving that she was indeed loyal. Sita understands how much you truly care and the sacrifices you have made. You have displayed selfless devotion, which is one of the most holy things we can do. In serving those you love, you serve the divine. In serving those you love, you serve the divine. That's such a beautiful message. Because sometimes I think we feel like we have to separate our spiritual life, our yogic life from our what we usually call our quote unquote regular life. But it's not true. All of that is our practice and all of that is spiritual. So you're serving all the time. So let's take a few more breaths. And in that, feel free to keep your eyes closed as much as you can throughout the practice. If that's comfortable for you, if it's not comfortable, you can always keep your eyes open and just try to soften your eyes, try to soften your gaze. So that way you can maintain awareness of what's happening within the body, right? That's what we want to do in our yoga practice. So we're breathing. And let's see if we can lengthen up the spine even more. We lengthen up, we drop the shoulders. And with this nice long spine, draw the shoulders back without arching the low back, right? We're just drawing the shoulders back, drop the chin toward the chest. So we open the back of the neck, take a breath into the back of the neck. And then begin to roll the head from side to side. And just stay with your breath. Maybe you make a connection of this movement and your breath, just from side to side. And there's a mantra where you repeat Sita Ram, bringing in that balance to the masculine and the feminine energies in the body and the mind. The male, the female, the sun, the moon, the hot, the cold, however you want to look at it. If that resonates with you, then you might do that. Maybe a little Sita Ram, Sita on the inhale, Ram on the exhale. Just notice how that feels. A couple more times, and when you're ready to take it back to center, you can come back to center, and let's just lift and lower the shoulders. On an inhale, we lift the shoulders. On the exhale, drop them down. If it's comfortable for you to just let them drop, then go for it. If you feel a little protective of the neck, then let them down nice and slow. So just always mindful of the body working in the capacity that is showing up each time on the mat. Sometimes we have new aches and pains. We're healing from different injuries, surgeries, whatever it is. So we really want to honor our bodies every time we show up on the mat, lifting and lowering. It doesn't have to be to the full extent either, right? When you lift and lower, just a little, we're just getting in touch with the body. So feel free to do that as many times as you want. And then when you're ready, on an inhale, we take the arms out and up now. So as we bring the arms out and up, you want to feel that nice expansion in the rib cage. On the inhale, exhale takes the arms down. And now we're still sitting up nice and tall. And as the arms down, the chin drops down to the chest. And on the inhale, we reach the arms out and up. And again, if it's within the practice, we can look up toward the hands. And we exhale and release the arms out and down. Inhale, out and up. And exhale, out and down. Breathing slow, breathing deep. And maybe you take a couple rounds where when you inhale, you lift the shoulders, squeeze them up towards your ears. You might connect the fingers or the thumbs and draw those shoulders way up. And then maybe there's a little arch in the back this time where you lift the heart, lift the chin, and then on the exhale, you let it go. Arms come down, drop chin to chest, and round the back. So we start to move into a seated cat-cow. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the chin. And on the exhale, around the back, chin drops down toward chest. Inhale, little arch in the back, lift the heart. You can take the arms with you. On the exhale, arms come down, dropping chin to chest. Inhale, lift. And exhale. As we come back to neutral, let's roll the shoulders a few times in each direction. Maybe you start with small circles and then grow the circles. I like to kind of move my head around when I'm rolling my shoulders so I get into all these muscles in the neck. And if my neck is sore, which actually it is today, I might massage the muscles in my neck as I roll the shoulders, a little massage therapy trick. I've been a massage therapist since 2012. So all these little tricks that you can sneak into your yoga practice to really help release the muscles, the places where we have the most tension. You can do the same thing. If you tilt your head to the side, you grab the opposite trap muscle, the one where you can kind of grab onto and squeeze that as you move your head to the side, the opposite side, and then back to center, and it just helps to stretch the muscle. So if you do it on one side, do it on the other side. Otherwise, you're moving, you're breathing, maybe arms are up and down. Whatever you feel called to, the few things that we've done so far, you start to find a little flow, and eventually hands come to heart center. We lightly bring the hands to heart center. So we allow the energy to flow still through heart center. And we take a deep breath. Maybe we set an intention here. Looks like it's blurry when I'm looking. So I'm not sure. Hopefully the whole thing is not blurry. That would be not fun. Oops. I just shut my video off. There it is. Maybe if I blur the background, it won't blur me. And it looks pretty funny, but let's give it a try. All right. So if you're sitting on something, I'm gonna have you come off of that now. And let's extend our legs out in front. Oh boy, now the whole thing is blurry. Bear with me here. Zoom has updated some things, and so I know they're trying to make it better, but I don't know. I guess we're gonna give it a try and see what happens. Okay. Let me take off the blurry background. Again, sorry about this. Okay. Legs are extended out in front. Let's reach the arms up. So with the legs extended out in front, feel free to take some time, shake your legs out. Just kind of be loose in your body and free in your body. You don't have to be rigid. So we'll inhale and reach the arms up. Exhale, release the arms out and down. So if you're here and your hamstrings are tight, grab a pillow. If you have the blocks, you can grab blocks. A blanket, you can roll it up, put it under your knees, and put something under your knees. So that way they have support staying bent, and then it's easier for you to be more upright here, okay? You can even take your legs out a little bit wider. So we can inhale and exhale. Let's inhale. This time on your exhale, you're reaching for your toes. Just see where your hands land. They might land on your shins. You might be up on the thighs, but you want to feel when you're folding forward that hinging from the hips, okay? Not from the low back where you're rounding your back and you're really reaching for your feet. You want to keep your spine long and your back flat, and then hinge at the hips and see where that fold takes you. And we're just starting. So don't expect to go super far, and you might rock from side to side. Then when you get to that point, if you want to, you can drop into the fold, and now it's okay to round your back and drop your head and take a few deep breaths. And then when you're ready to come up on an inhale, lift your head first. So look forward slightly and then allow yourself to come up. So that's the same protocol when we're seated and we come up from a fold, and when we're standing and we come up from a fold. It just instantly takes the pressure off of the low back. So let's do that again. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. On your exhale, come into your fold. Let your hands land wherever they land, keeping your back flat. You're hinging at the hips. So it's okay to even rock back and forth here. Hinging at the hips. Then allow yourself to drop in slowly and mindfully. No strain in the low back. If you start to feel any strain, don't pull yourself in deeper. I know that's the American way, right? The tendency, I want to go further, so I'm going to pull myself there. Don't do that. Actually back off a little bit, come up, even lift your head. Take a deep breath wherever you are. On your exhale, let your exhale melt you in just the smallest amount more. And then if your head is dropped down, when you're ready to come up, lift your head. So you look forward, inhale, rise. Okay, so those are the subtleties of the practice. When we really listen to our body, that's how we can heal our bodies when we're managing different aches and pains and injuries and all the things that we manage all the time. So from here, we're going to take the soles of our feet together. So as we bring the soles of the feet together, again, if your knees are way up here or you're finding it challenging to sit up tall, number one, push your feet away from the body. You don't have to bring them way in. Let's find our upper body first, where we can sit up tall. Then you can kind of see where your feet can come into while maintaining that upright body in the torso. We're not forcing, we're not straining. And depending on how this feels on the inner thighs, you might take pillows, blocks, blankets, and tuck them under the knees so you can come into cobbler's pose. Again, it's the beginning of class. And so you want to honor where your body is and not force it. We haven't even warmed up yet. We're just in that process. So as you come here, hands can be on your shins. Maybe your hands can reach your big toes. I like to do index finger, middle finger around my big toes, toe hold. And then I begin to very slowly draw the heart forward, shoulders back, chin parallel to the floor, even drop down just the slightest bit. So I can feel that reach through the crown of my head, like there's a string pulling my crown up. It doesn't lift my chin, it just lifts my spine. So I can feel that length and I can feel less compression in the pelvis, the pelvic floor. I can feel more lifting instead of compression there, even in the low back. So let's take a deep breath here. One more deep breath. Together, we'll inhale, lengthen, feel that lift. On the exhale, nice and slow. Again, hinge at the hips, slow. See where it takes you. It might only be a half an inch while maintaining that flat back. So look forward, right? Again, tendency, if there's not a lot of flexibility in the hips here, is to round your back and drop the crown of your head down. But I would much rather have you keep the heart open, keep your gaze forward, lean forward, maybe that half an inch that your body allows you, and then hang out there and breathe. Tune into the places in the body where you feel that tension. Breathe there. Imagine you're breathing into your inner thighs. Imagine you're breathing into your low back. And then you'll notice now you're connected with the body and the breath helps to create space there. So you might fold a little bit further on each exhale. Also, what might happen is you might get to a point where, all right, I'm feeling good, and you're holding, and then your body starts to unwind a little bit more and you feel an achiness, right? So that's a signal. All right, let me back off a little bit. Let me just go to the edge of that achiness, right? We don't need to go into the achiness. And then we breathe again. This is why we hold postures and we breathe, because we want to give our bodies the opportunity to benefit from the postures. So let's take 3 or 4 more breaths here. And I want you to just listen and make adjustments from the listening, from what you're receiving from your body, the signals. See where it takes you. Let's do one more breath. And again, you are free to add movements in or to find that stillness, to listen to the body, to come out of the posture. You know, this is where you really make it your practice, is by listening to what the promptings, the inner promptings of your body, not the ego getting fidgety, but actually what your body needs. And that is a process. It takes a long time to develop that relationship, but you're in the process of developing that relationship. So we're going to come back up now to a seated position. We can take those blocks away and we're going to come forward onto our hands and knees. So as we come into our table, we're finding a nice flat back here. Wrists are about under the shoulders, but wrists are comfortable. So whatever that means for you, your wrists are comfortable. Your head is in line with your spine. You're breathing. And knees are about hip width apart. So let's go ahead and find some engagement. If you can, draw the elbows back. So you kind of wrap the shoulders and the insides of your elbows, the opposite of the elbow, faces forward as much as you can. So when you bend your elbows a little bit, there's always that slight bend. We don't want to hyperextend. The elbows point back. So they're not out to the side, not out to the side like a push-up, but instead they're wrapped and they're pointing back. And you spread your fingers nice and wide. And we begin our cat-cow. On your inhale, drop your belly, lift your head. Tailbone to the top of the head, tailbone round your back. Head drops down last. Inhale, roll through. And exhale, round your back. Inhale, roll. And exhale, round. Just take it on your own. Stay with the breath. Coming back to a neutral spine, knees come out a little bit wider than hip, just a little bit wider. So you can rock your hips from side to side. And here you can let your head hang. Relax through the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, the fingers, and just rock from side to side. And we'll take our knees out even further, maybe to the edges of your mat. Big toes are touching and back. We're going to sit back into a wide leg child's pose. Grab a block or a pillow or a blanket. Lower your head onto that prop. And if that's uncomfortable because you are really flexible and your head easily comes down to the mat, then go ahead and lower your head to the mat. So you're holding here, connecting with your breath, breathing into the back, breathing into the low back. So really filling the belly on the inhale. And feeling the energy rise on the exhale. Shoulders draw away from the ears, but with a lightheartedness, not with a rigidity, right? We just want it to be lighthearted. If our shoulders are starting to make their way up around the ears, we draw back, we find the breath. So everything happens with ease. I want you to take about 5 more breaths here. If your knees are bothering you, lift your hips. And if you have a lot of pressure in your face, come back up to table, right? This is all part of that process of honoring your body. A few more breaths. When you're ready to move, come back up to table. Grab those blocks if you have them. On whatever setting feels good for you. I'm going to do medium setting. So low as if they were down like this, medium, high, okay? And we're going to bring our left foot forward. So left foot comes forward between the blocks. So when I do this, I'm gonna bend and straighten this front leg. So as I bend and I sink down into my hips, I start to engage the muscles in my legs because I want to support that right hip flexor. I want to support this area so I don't overstretch it. But bend and straighten. And you might decide, you know what, I want my blocks up higher. Maybe you don't want blocks at all. That back knee, if it feels like it needs a pillow underneath it, then grab a pillow or roll the mat. So again, we're listening to the body, setting ourselves up for success. We're breathing as we bend and straighten. And then we're sinking in, we're engaging the legs, lifting the heart, working to draw the shoulders back. Maybe we lift the chin without wrinkling the back of the neck, so we're just extending through the spine. Engage the core, draw the navel back toward the spine. So you feel that nice engagement and breathe. 2 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Top of the back foot is on the mat. 1 more breath. Inhale and exhale. Now slowly make your way back to table. When you're ready, the right foot comes forward. Same process, different side. So we treat it a little bit different. What do we need to do on this side? Is this more flexible, more inflexible? We're keeping the legs engaged. We're breathing, checking in with that back knee. Top of the left foot is on the mat. We don't have our toes tucked. And just breathe and move. Engage the core. Support the movement. Support the hip flexor. When you're ready, we come into the posture. We engage the legs. We engage the core. We imagine, we get the sensation that we're tucking the tailbone. You'll see that that starts to open up the spine, the heart. We might lift the chin. We find the breath, 3 breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Breathe into the belly. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Now we're going to tuck our back toes, lift that knee so we can step forward to the top of our mat. Keep the knees bent here. Drop into your fold. On an inhale, with the knees bent, lift the head, look forward, rise up to standing. Big inhale, lifts you all the way up. Arms rise, relax the shoulders. Exhale, hands through heart center, releasing your arms down by your sides. Good. Now we're in mountain pose. Close your eyes. Keep the knees a little bit soft. We're finding neutral in the body here. So we don't have a big arch in the low back. We're lengthening the spine. We're finding the natural curves of the spine. In and out through the nose, belly breath. Maybe you place your hands on your belly. Lift your toes. Don't come up on your toes, but lift your toes, spread them out wide. Set them down little to big. Breathe. Hands on hips. Inhale. So maintain that alignment with the upper and the lower body. On the exhale, a little side bend to the right side. You can let your head fall. Everything is slow, so you can stay mindful of how it feels. If you want to press a little bit into the left hip, you can. We'll inhale, come back. Exhale, other side, same thing. Maybe a little bit of pressing into that right hip. Head can drop. We're just mindful of how this all feels. Inhale, center. Exhale, right side. Inhale back. Exhale left. Take it a few more times on your own, staying in touch with the body. When you're ready, come back to center. And we're going to start to build some energy here. So on your inhale, reach your arms out and up. Exhale, hands through heart center, bend your knees, come into your fold. I'm going to turn so you can see me. We can inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Look forward, inhale, rise. Little flow. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, hands through heart center. Soften the knees. Come down to your fold. Feel free to let your head drop. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, start to look forward as you rise. Reach. Exhale, hands through heart center. Let's do that again. Arms come down, then inhale, reach it out and up. Exhale, diving into the fold, knees stay bent. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. This time, hands come down, blocks, no blocks, do what's right for you. If you're using blocks, they're right beside the outsides of your feet. We're gonna inhale and step back with the left leg, lunge, look forward. The body is strong here. The core is slightly engaged. The legs are as strong as you can get them. And then from the lower body, inhale, step forward, drop into your fold, knees stay bent. Exhale. On an inhale, step the right foot back, find your lunge. Good, and then come forward, drop into your fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward as you rise, arms out and up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Release the arms down. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, coming into your fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left foot steps back, knee comes down. Right foot, right knee comes to meet the left. Hands come down. We can get rid of our blocks for right now. And we're tucking the toes, coming into our down dog. As you come into your down dog, you're listening to your body, right? Our true dog comes from plank, and we press up. And there's our down dog. I like to step in a little bit because I like to hold my down dog. So we're breathing, we're pedaling the feet, we're looking. Side to side. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Again, just gently. We don't have to be rigid about it. Deep breath. Breathe into the belly. If you need a break, just bring your knees down. Couple of cat cows. Come back to it when you're ready. Breathe into the belly. Redirect the pressure out of your face to your belly. Make sure your head is loose, your head hangs. And again, we're wrapping the shoulders. So even here, the elbows point back a little bit. We soften the elbows, wrap the shoulders. So the elbows are not sticking out to the sides. We're wrapping back. We're finding breath, finding length, and finding comfort. Relative comfort. Obviously, we're holding a posture. We're using our muscles. We're allowing our blood to circulate. We're breathing. Let's inhale up to our toes. Lift your hips high. On your exhale, knees come down. Let's come into child's pose. So either knees together or knees out wide. Feel free to place a block under the forehead if your forehead doesn't come down. Connecting with the breath here. Maybe it's more comfortable in table doing some cat-cows. Maybe it's more comfortable in a seated position. So listen to your body, make adjustments, stay with the breath. 3 more breaths. When you're ready to move, we'll come back up onto our forearms and knees. So knees are about hip width, elbows are about shoulder width. You can gently interlock your fingers here, or you can place your hands on your mat. Your head is in line with your spine. And we're going to lift the left leg out behind us and bend at the knee. Flex your foot so you're pressing the sole of your foot up toward the sky. So find engagement there, engaging the core, engaging the leg. And from that engagement, we pulse. We find those little pulses. So we can work. We can bring some energy to the glute muscles, the back, the hamstrings, the breath, of course. We use the breath. And then hold in that engagement. Inhale. On your exhale, releasing the knee down. Walk your knees in a little bit. Round your back, tuck your toes. Take a deep breath. And then we repeat that on the other side. So when you're ready, right leg comes out. We bend, flex the foot, press. Press into your elbows. We want to keep the shoulders engaged. But again, lightheartedness in the body. Took me a long time to learn that lightheartedness in the body when I'm doing this. And just breathe. Core is strong. Engagement, strengthen the legs. Make sure you don't sink into that left hip, right? Try to keep that engaged so we're not sinking and leaning to that side. Little pulses. One more breath. And then releasing. Now, before we get too comfortable, we're going to tuck the toes and rise up to our dolphin. So head comes between the arms, knees can stay bent. If you come up here and you say, no way, Jose, knees come down, come back to the beginning stages of this posture. Maybe you lift and lower. With the breath. You might inhale, rise up, shoulders are strong. Top of the head hovers above the mat. Exhale, knees come down. You look forward slightly. Some kind of a variation of cat-cow, kind of. And then maybe you do a little cat-cow on your forearms, giving your wrists a break. Inhale and exhale. Good. We're going to come up to our knees. So as we come up to our knees, again, we check in with the knees. If we need a little more cushion, you can always roll your mat so you have a little bit extra there. You can put a blanket, a pillow under your knees, okay? So honor where your body is and how it's feeling. We're going to tuck our back toes, so we lift the heels. We're going to take our hands to the low back. Maybe the thumbs can point in or maybe they point out. Just see what works, but we are going to draw the elbows as close together as we can. So as we do this, we want to find engagement in the quadriceps, engagement in the glutes, engagement in the core. So we lengthen the spine. And just the smallest little back bend on an inhale, we lengthen. The exhale, press the hips forward. Lengthen the back of the neck. Remember, keep the wrinkle out of the back of the neck. And maybe you don't look up at all. Just check in. Maybe you're looking straight ahead. And hold here. Draw the elbows together. You want to ride the wave of intensity that comes from this variation of camel. Just keep breathing. 2 more breaths. Good, and then drop the arms, chin toward chest. Let it go. Lift the head. If you are wanting a nice little stretch in the feet, you keep the toes tucked and sit back on your heels. At first, it's like, oh, this feels so good. And then after you breathe for a few breaths, you realize, ouch. So just stay there for a couple breaths, maybe 2, maybe 5. Listen, pushing it doesn't make it more effective. When you're ready to release, you rock forward onto hands and knees, tops of the foot come on. And you can tap your feet, tap, tap, tap. Good. And then we're going to make our way into a seated position. So from our seated position, let's come back to cobbler's pose. Feet together, knees out wide. Rock from side to side. Same structure as before when we visited this in the beginning of class. Depending on your flexibility, we've moved a little bit more. We have a little more flexibility in the body, but check in. You want to be able to sit nice and upright. So if you need to move your feet away to do that, then move your feet away. Hands are on your shins, or maybe they're wrapped around your feet, or toe hold. We let go of any rigidity in the body. So even if we're super flexible and strong, and we can come into this posture full expression, allow with your breath this wave of relaxation. So you're in it, you're strong, you're flexible, but yeah, you're still, you're not rigid, right? You're not like holding on to something, right? Just letting go, but strong, really present. Not holding on to any way we think we should be. We're just in it. We're finding the seat, close the eyes, connect with the breath. Find length, find that lift from the hips, the pelvis, pelvic floor. Slight engagement, drawing the belly button back toward the spine. Ease of breath. Enjoy your breath here. Follow it through the body. With the eyes closed, come into an easy cross leg. If you'd like, you can sit on a block or a bolster. So we find our meditation position. Hands are resting, palms up, palms down, whatever feels comfortable relative to the posture, right? So we're sitting up tall, the spine is long. We feel that lift out of the hips, the pelvic floor. So the energy is moving up and out, right? This cleansing, this purifying that's always happening in yoga. We get rid of the qualities, the things that no longer serve us, the anger, the aversion, the ignorance. We reduce our suffering through this focus of yoga asana and pranayama, pratyahara, and that's where we withdraw the senses. and a little bit of dhyana, a little bit of meditation, concentration. We're observing this discipline. We're observing that maybe we have these sensations of feeling good in the body. The mind is a little bit calmer. We bring in Sita, who we reflected on in the beginning, and that the air of service, our life being that service. Our contribution, caring for those that we love, caring for ourselves. And in this moment, we begin to cultivate a feeling of gratitude. And when we cultivate qualities like gratitude, we imagine, we actually begin to sense, visualize all of it. All the senses come in and we feel gratitude in every cell of our body. We feel gratitude. Even if you think you're making it up, what does that mean to feel gratitude in every cell? Maybe you're imagining as you breathe, every single cell is receiving gratitude. It might feel tingly or warm, any number of things. Just be open to how it reflects back to you. Gratitude. And we're going to take that one step further. One's not better than the other, it's just different. We're going to take that into forgiving ourselves for being so hard on ourselves, not because we've done anything wrong. Forgiving ourselves for being so hard on ourselves. Forgiveness. You cultivate that sensation, the quality, the feeling of forgiveness, which is an act of self-love, right? I forgive myself for being so hard on myself. All the things that we think we should be doing, or we didn't do right, or we could have done better, or whatever the heck it is, whatever some expectation is, right now in this moment, we forgive ourselves for being so hard on ourselves. That does not do us any good. You know how it feels to place your hands on your body when you do this. What parts of your body ache physically, emotionally, and what parts of your body have pain? Where do you suffer physically? And I encourage you, I invite you to place your hands there and forgive yourself for being so hard on yourself. And stay with your breath. Again, even if you feel like you're making it up, what does that mean? What does it feel? What does forgiveness feel like? What does it feel like to forgive myself for being hard on myself? You're not forgiving yourself for doing anything wrong. Giving yourself freedom. Feeling your way into wholeness. If you find yourself really crinkled up through the eyebrows, relax that spot. Smile. Lighthearted, light-hearted. Few more breaths. Even if it feels silly or you think this is silly or whatever, it's just go with it. Who cares? What else do you have to do right now? Try it out. Take the edge off. And I invite you in your own time. You can stay here for as long as you want. In your own time, though. Lie on your back. Check in with your body, see what it needs, maybe knees into chest and rocking from side to side, or a twist, or a big stretch. But eventually you lie comfortably, so you might put a pillow or a blanket under your knees. Grab a blanket. You're in your own space, so get comfortable. Maybe you go lay in bed. I definitely encourage you to put a blanket on, though. My teacher always made us cover up, and it always felt good, even if I didn't feel like doing it at first. And as you come into this deep relaxation, the Shavasana, Shavasana means corpse. We become a corpse, right? We laid there that still and in that kind of full being, full presence, heavy yet light. Relaxed, that kind of heaviness, light in the heart, light in the mind. And you just let go for however long, at least 5 minutes though. Set a timer. If you're someone that feels like they need to be doing something, this is what you're doing. This is something. You allow yourself to be in this state of deep relaxation, lying down, supported by this beautiful earth that we live on, the energy you created during this practice. Letting go of even the focus on breathing. Just being as you relax the whole front side of your body. And you relax the whole back side of your body. Whole front side. And the whole back side. And you relax your whole body together. Your whole body together. Small movements, fingers and your toes. Smile back. As much time as you need before rolling onto your right side. Keep the left side open for the calming and rolling, curling up into a ball. Again, in your own time, slowly, gently easing your way back up to a seated position. Keeping your eyes closed. Hands come gently to heart center, spaciousness. Bowing your head down toward your heart to honor the wisdom within. And bow a little deeper to honor the hearts and wisdom of our many, many teachers. Really think about every experience, good, bad, and in between, that's led you to this moment has been a teacher. When we take the merit of this practice and send it out to help in whatever tiny, tiny, tiny way alleviate the suffering in the world, we send it out on the wave of an Om. Take a deep breath in. Om. Be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings know joy and the causes of joy. May I be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May I know joy and the causes of joy. Continue to work until I understand what all that means. I will continue to work until I mean namaste. That the light in me honors the light in you. And when we recognize that light in one another, there is only one of us. About you. Thank you for practicing with me today, and feel free to share this with anyone, everyone that you know that might benefit from it. And yeah.